If you'll indulge me for just a minute, Lester likes to say yes to everybody having all of the things in the building, but I'm the one that has to get everything ready, so I'm a little tired. I'm going to sit. Hopefully you'll see me. Now this is our social stair. I stole the idea, by the way, from Mr. Koch. He said he was going to do this the other day, but he didn't. So since he didn't, I get to. This is our social stair. This is where our students will be able to come, have lunch, charge their phones. I didn't bring my cord to charge my phone, but, you know, charge the phone, get ready for the day, decompress after their morning, prepare for their afternoon. It's really exciting. Really exciting what we can do, what we can offer for our students. So, I do have prepared remarks, and I apologize, because they're prepared remarks. So my name is Shawn Hinds. I am the academy coach here at Frederick Douglass High School. I spend a lot of my time trying to explain to people what that means, because I'm not a principal, I'm not a coach, I'm not a teacher. I sort of have this ambiguous role. So I'll tell you what I tell them. Basically, my job is to manage our community and business partnerships as well as our small learning communities. And as soon as I say that, their eyes glaze over and they still have no idea what I do. Which is good for me, because then I can walk away and not have to worry about it. Anyway, to tell you a little bit about my job and about the career academies and the kind of the journey we've taken. If you'll indulge me, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, because I never get to talk to a room full of adults. I was a teacher until March, so I'm used to 30 kids at a time. So now I get to tell my story to adults. I graduated college with a degree in English literature. I moved to Lexington. I got a job in sales. I parlayed that job in sales into another job in finance. And every morning for about 8 years, I woke up and I hated myself. Just every day, just hated myself. It's a bad feeling, right? I was dispassionate, I was disengaged, I was just disappointed in myself. And so I made a hard choice, I made a leap. I decided to do something different, do something that I was really engaged in. And so I became a teacher. And our journey among the academies is not dissimilar to that. When I became a teacher, I noticed that our students were dispassionate, disengaged, and sort of disappointed in what they were doing. They had no reason. No one could answer the question, what's in it for me? Why am I here? Why do I need to know this? And so I was really excited about it a little bit more than 18 months ago, when James McMillan, who was named principal of Bryan Station High School, came to me and said, hey, I need you to take a leap of faith. You should do something for me. Because up to that point, I taught AP Literature to Spanish immersion seniors at Bryan Station High School. I'd like the cream of the crop kids, arguably some of the best in the district. And he looks at me and he says, I need you to stop doing that. I need you to go teach freshmen, and I need you to help build this career academy. And so I did. And it's been a great journey. I've learned a lot. And I want to share some of the things I've learned along the way so that you have a better understanding of what it is that we are doing as we transform education, as we take this initiative and we make it for Lexington, which will then be the model for the nation. I firmly believe that what we do in Lexington will be the model for the nation. So, you've seen the literature, you've seen the flyer, right, sitting on your table. Covers the basics, right? Academies connect core content to what's happening in the real world. It helps answer that question, why do I need to know this? Look, now they're picking up the flyer, so we didn't spend that money for nothing. Wasn't my money, so it didn't matter to me. It helps bring business and industry into the classroom, and it turns business and industry into a classroom. Think about how powerful that is. When our students take what they learn in school and bring it to you and apply it there, and they can learn to fail in a safe environment, where they're being mentored, where they're doing internships, etc. But it also brings business and industry to the table, because we've hired 60 teachers here. I can think of a handful of them who have ever been in private industry. We know what we know because of what we've been taught in our education classes. But that doesn't necessarily translate to what's actually happening in, I say the real world, but this is real too, right? But what's happening outside of these walls. And so it brings you into that conversation. It helps facilitate those connections, right? So we can align the needs of the workforce with what's happening in the classroom. And, I think the flyer says this as well, it'll have a strong economic impact here in Lexington. I'm going to watch my time because I'm pretty long-winded. But it's more than that. It's more than just those core basic things. What it is, it's allowing our students to leave high school with stronger job-ready skills, collaboration, teamwork, communication, perseverance, attendance, right? Because I talk to a lot of businesses, and they say that's one of the biggest problems they have. Our young students come out, they go to work, sometimes they don't. If they don't like their job anymore, they just stop going, right? We're working, we're going to provide students with these job-ready skills, these 21st century skills, that'll allow us to give you a product, a person, an employee that's worth having, because that's what it's about, right? Our kids need to leave high school, no matter whether they go to college or directly into the workforce. At some point, they're going into the workforce. So, through our focus on, I'll just do this. Through our focus on linking core academic learning with technical learning, we help develop deeper critical thinking in students, because that is important. So, when I was a classroom teacher and I taught literature, I always told my students, my job is not to make you love literature. In a lot of ways I can't, right? Raise your hand if you love Moby Dick. Exactly. Jane Austen, William Faulkner, okay? My job is not to make you love literature. My job is to make you think deeper, think critically. And that's what career academies or our academies of Lexington will do. They're going to connect the core content learning with the technical knowledge to help students think deeply. Because no matter what, I need students to leave here. When students are, my doctor and I'm laying out on an operating table and I'm bleeding out because of something that happened, I need them to be able to quickly see the problem, assess it, and solve it. But I also need them to do that if they're my plumber, or my electrician, or my police officer, right? We need students that have deep critical thinking skills, and that's what linking this knowledge, linking this learning does. So I taught at Bryan Station for about 8 years. One thing I can tell you is that academies are going to will help provide a pathway out of poverty. Lexington has generational poverty. We see it. I saw it at Bryan Station. We see it every day on the news. We see it on the streets as we drive by. We see it all over the place. But by providing our students with the ability to graduate high school with valued industry certifications, right? When my students in the EMT pathway graduate, they'll be able to ride on an ambulance. When my students in the medical nursing assistance program graduate, they can work in a hospital or a nursing home. When my students who are in the technology academy graduate, they'll be able to program and get a job. All of these people will be able to get jobs that provide a living wage. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. And so the best part about all this, though, is how we make it possible. I used the comment earlier when I talked about what I did. I said, I'm in charge of the small learning communities. Small learning communities is just sort of a fancy term that means we took a big school and we made it smaller. You've got a small group of people that you learn with, that you're responsible to. And so we align our career academies, based on experience or interest. So our freshman academy, they come in, they're all ninth graders. It's a transitional program. I'm really excited about it because my daughter will be here next year. It took me a long time to convince her to come here. And I didn't ultimately do it, just walking around the building did it. And you'll all understand this later. It's amazing, it's an amazing facility. This freshman academy allows for the transition between middle school and high school. Students will take their English, their math, their science classes. They'll take their freshman seminar, which is a transitional program that we've built from scratch, which provides them exploration into the various career sectors. They'll write resumes, they'll do all sorts of things. So they'll do that in the freshman academy. They'll live that experience. They'll go out. We'll put every freshman at the academy cohort school, Bryan Station, Frederick Douglass, Tate's Creek. We'll put every freshman on a college campus in the spring. Every single freshman will experience what it's like to be in that place. They'll eat lunch there, they'll talk with students there. They'll get to experience something they've never experienced before. And we did it last year. I did it last year at Bryan Station, and it was amazing to see their faces. They were able to realize what they could accomplish. For some of them, they never thought they would be able to go to college. And so to see that they could, was amazing. But not all students are going to go to college, and that's okay too. We've got to be okay with that. And that's what this transformation does, is it allows us to be okay with the fact that not all students go to college. You tell it to my mom, and she, if I told that to my mom in 1996 when I graduated high school, she'd look at me and say, no, that's not true. We have to get out of that traditional mindset. What we do is we take these small learning communities and we put them together. So after their freshman year, they choose an area of interest. This is not their forever career. This is their what interests me now. Because my daughter wants to be a doctor. She watches Grey's Anatomy and she wants to be a surgeon. But for real. So she's going to go into the medical pathway. And she's going to learn whether or not she likes blood. She's going to dissect the hand. She's going to learn whether or not she likes doing those kind of things. I suspect she won't. We're going to get kids connected with the things that interest them. And then once they're in those career academies, once they're in those spaces where they have the program of interest to them, they're also going to have their English, their math, their social studies, their science. All of their classes are going to be taught with this idea in mind, that they can connect those things. So if she's in her English class in the medical academy, she might be reading the Journal of American Medicine, right? She might be studying medical math. If she were to take technology, she might be doing computational thinking and logic, right? She might be studying economies of the economies of revolution in history class. We're going to connect those core contents with the things that interest students. Because that's where the money is. Because that's how you hook them. That's how you engage them. So, okay. I've gone on for like more than 10 minutes, and I apologize. The best part, and Lester hinted to this earlier, the best part is that our teachers, I'm tired of sitting, those steps are concrete, they're not our teachers have offices. They have office space. This building is designed to look like a community college, and it functions like a college. They have their own office spaces, and they work together, and they collaborate together, so they have their meetings every week together. They talk about, what are you doing in your class? What are you doing in your class? What are you doing in your class? What's this student doing in your class? How's this student doing? They can reach the student at a holistic level. They can look at attendance, they can look at behavior, they can look at academics, and they can talk about the child. They can team plan, they can develop. So a couple weeks ago, we sent our teaching and learning pathway teacher to a training. We also sent the English, the math, and the science teacher as well. And they helped her develop her curriculum for the year and talked about how they were going to collaborate across those three content areas to support teaching and learning. So it's powerful. So I'm really passionate about this, if you can't tell. And so I'll stop talking in a second, I promise. I'm going to leave with this. We're doing this for our students. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. It's about our kids. Not Frederick Douglass's kids, not Bryan Station's kids, not Tate's Creek kids, but Lexington's kids. Because we've got to start thinking about this as a model for the city. Because the benefit comes back to the city. The benefit comes back to our employers. The benefit comes back to everybody, to our community. So, I encourage you, in your businesses, in your community partnerships, to reach out to me, to my colleague at Bryan Station, Heather Epley, to my colleague at Tate's Creek, Amanda Wickersham, who all do what I do, so that we can connect you with our teachers, so that we can bring you into our classrooms, into our buildings, and we can put our teachers and our classrooms and our students out with you. It's about how are we going to help each other. It's sort of symbiotic. So with that, I will end it because I went way long. Sorry.